Hi, and welcome to the third and final video of our shadowing series 2021. In today's video, we'll be talking about well-being and finance at Oxford. And I'm here joined by two amazing individuals who are also on ACS committee. And I'll let them introduce themselves. So Ibti, if you want to go first.
Hi guys, I'm Ibti. I'm one of the senior welfare officers. I study English at Somerville. I'm a second year, and yeah, that's me.
Hi, I'm Keisha. I study Chinese studies at Wadham, and I'm a third year student. And I'm a senior welfare officer with Ibti.
Thank you guys for your introductions. My first question is, what do you guys do in your roles as senior welfare officers of the Oxford ACS? Keisha, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So we're just like a point of call for students in the sense that we host events to try and foster like connections between other like Black students throughout Oxford. So welfare events like for example, we did like a colouring session last term. Obviously Zoom coronavirus means that lots of our events are online, which is different but to what previously would happen. But yeah, we're mainly responsible for like hosting these events to try and like create those connections, so you have like a support network among a support group of friends who you can relate to, as well as like being like a point of call in the sense that if you need to like talk about anything, need any advice on like anything to do with Oxford, to do with life, to do with whatever, we're also here to help in those ways. We're just here to like support people, good vibes, to provide the good vibes and good energy. Yeah.
Thank you. Ibti, do you want to add anything to that?
Honestly, like Keisha said everything. I think the good vibes thing is true, because I think for a lot of people like coming to Oxford, like ACS is like their home away from home. And I think a lot of the like stuff that welfare does helps like foster that like community feeling, and like feeling like you've got people basically like to back you. And yeah, I think like that's the big thing that we do, like help foster that community.
Thank you guys. I remember like last year there was an ACS event beginning of like second term, and it was an open mic night. I remember that just being like just the best.
That was so funny.
So funny. It was so good. Like ACS is filled with talent. So yeah, that was organized by welfare and it was just incredible. So my second question for you guys is, what welfare support is there available at Oxford? So aside from your role as welfare officers, what provisions or support systems does the university provide, and also college level as well? Ibti, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think like the first, because I think when you're like coming to Oxford, like, or like even thinking about applying, like the biggest like concern is that you're not allowed to get a job like during term time, and that's genuinely because I think it's quite difficult to manage like alongside the workload. So I think Oxford has like, you're like sort of automatically like considered for like the Oxford bursary and Crank Start scholarship. Like I think those are the two main ones that you're like you'll be looking at in terms of like financial support, because they're like they're means tested. So when you're doing all of your like student finance stuff, you're like automatically considered for those two. But I do, and like both of those like provide like I think maintenance grants to like help like with just like day-to-day costs and things like that. So those are really, really good. But I think different colleges also have like different like bursaries and like supports that they have. I know there's like ones for like sort of disadvantaged groups, like I think there's like an Islamic one, and there's a couple different ones for like different nationalities. But I think the place to find like the most out would probably be, I think it's like they have like a website that's like the finance, sorry, I'm trying to find out the actual name, like I think it's just like the Oxford, like if you just Google Oxford scholarships, financial support on the website, like you'll be able to find out much more. But to be honest, if you're ever like finding that you're struggling with like money and like financial concerns are like sort of like becoming a big concern to you being able to like actually get stuff done, I would say like literally just talk to your college and like drop them an email, because they're literally there to help. I feel like the big benefit of having like college systems is that you're really not left to like suffer alone. Like there's so many support like avenues, I think, and like this place has so much money, like rob them. Like actually just rob them, like take advantage of like the grants and things that are like afforded. But I don't know if you guys have stuff to add to that.
Keisha, do you want to add on to, so Ibti was talking about the financial provisions available, and I think a point to mention is that like when you come here, I guess also the university and your college really care about your academics, and they want you to focus a lot on that, and finance shouldn't be something that should worry you during your degree, at least. So if you ever come under the situation where you may not be able to pay a bill, etc., most colleges do have hardship funds as well if you're not eligible for those scholarships and for those bursaries, because they are means tested, whereas hardship funds aren't. I think there are criteria they have to meet, but there is just a lot of support, and finance shouldn't be something that is affecting your like your time here essentially. But Keisha, do you want to talk about more in terms of like the welfare supports available like through the student systems, but also through the college and university?
Yeah, sure. So like there's lots of welfare support available from like college based to like university wide base. So in your college, like that you should have, I think each college, don't quote me on this because I like I don't know actually, but like I think each college has like a welfare officer who is like responsible for like, I don't know, like organizing like welfare events for like all students in your college, or like maybe like, I don't know, sometimes welfare officers will like gift people things during like hard weeks during term time. So there's a welfare officer. Then there are also some colleges have like peer support people who are just like fellow students who have decided to like do peer support training to like support, like act as a point of call for support for like other students and stuff. And then there are also like welfare like counselors. There will be a welfare counselor in like your college. There should be in every college. And also like a college chaplain who acts like in a welfare role. And I guess that like is like a religious aspect as well. Acts like in a religious welfare aspect as well. But also non-religious, like it depends what you need in terms of welfare. So like in like college level, there's like lots of support, and like most colleges have like a PSC officer or BME officer, like they're called different things, but it's like like it should be like an officer who's kind of like responsible for putting on events and like again trying to like create that like community amongst the like I don't know, the Black and PSC students in like various colleges, like within your like initial college. So it's like different to ACS. And then there's also the university just got this summer, because there's that's your college level like base of like welfare support. Then like university wide there are like counselors in general, and then the university just got free, no, like I think free Ibti, is it free? I don't know, we just got Black welfare counselors.
I think it's two Black counselors, yeah, but there's like another like person of color, but I'm not sure where like what the background is. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we just got two like Black welfare counselors who are like university wide, and that's like you can obviously like see them, like request to see them whenever you'd like. And they've also started like a new thing called like, is it like the students of color group, or what is it? It's like
I'm not sure what it's called right now, but it's like quite new. It's like a I think it's like a counseling like support group for like students of color and Black students at the university, like to like provide like group counseling sessions.
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, sorry, I don't know the exact name. Like,
yeah, it's very new, I think. So it's
yeah, I think they're starting it like next time. So they emailed us about it, and I just realized we should probably like that's a good like me and Ibti don't know that much about it, like you said, because they literally starting it next time. And again, we're not sure of like the names, but that's like a new thing that the university is trying to like provide support for like Black students and like students of color. Yeah, and I think that's just it's just a group so you can talk about similar experiences. Yeah, but there'll be more information on that later, hopefully. And of course, there's there's ACS and like there are cultural societies. What I think like Ibti already mentioned this, I can't remember, but like again, there's like I can't think of any cultural societies.
There's like I know there's like Islamic SOC, ISOC. There's like Christian society, I can't remember all the acronyms, but there's like basically faith societies and there's like beyond societies, there's also like I don't know, like I'm not really like super involved in like the religious societies, but there's lots of like interfaith societies. So if for you like welfare isn't just like part of your welfare is like your faith, and there's just like lots of ways for you to like find communities here at Oxford. Like there's so many societies like in terms of like cultural and like faith societies that you can like seek support from people with like similar beliefs to you.
Yeah, just having like that group like of people you can relate to, like it's just like good vibes. Yeah, and I think that's everything I think of welfare. Ibti, do you want to?
I think in terms of like what the university provides, like that's pretty much like that is like the sort of like most exactly. I think that's pretty much what I would say. I think there's also like another thing just to mention is that like I know Keisha said this, but like I can't highlight enough, like if you're struggling, please talk to your personal tutor. So like kind of like at school, like how you have like a form tutor, you kind of have a personal tutor when you're at uni, and that's like gonna be someone who might teach you like in your course as well, but it's just like they're like supposed to be your main sort of point of contact, your immediate point of contact in terms of like faculty and like college. So if you're struggling like with your academics, which is fine, because when you like first get here, and even like as you continue like over the course of your degree, it's difficult. So like if you find yourself struggling, don't struggle in silence, and like they're definitely like the first person like you should talk to, because if you feel comfortable to do so. But like I think having that good relationship with your personal tutor means they can be the one to like, for example, if you have like a mental health condition or another condition that will affect your ability to do work, they can be someone you're like, hey, like I have all of these things going on, so can you talk to my other tutors so that they're more understanding like about deadlines, for example, but also on like the sort of like if you have like mental health or any type of like I guess like conditions or anything like that, there's also the disability advisory service, which I think you can contact through the welfare like sort of like coordinator at your college, or whoever like is whatever it's called at your college, but there's like usually like the big welfare officer person that's like actually hired to do things rather than like the students, and they can like refer you to the disability advisory service if you haven't like already spoken to them before coming here, and they can make sure that you're getting like whatever like support you need for whatever condition you have going on. So like I'm diabetic, for example, and they made sure that I could have a fridge in my room, which is not like usual in my college, so that I could store my medication. So like things like that, like little like adjustments and things like that are so easy to make, and that's like it makes it so much easier if you just tell people what's going on, especially like in college. Like those are like the points of contact that you should really like make use of.
Yeah, I just wanted to, is it okay if I just jump in about like with the personal tutor, like I think that's such like, if she's made such a like banging point, so like such a good point, because like it's one of them ones where I feel like you get to uni and you feel like it kind of like sometimes it may, in terms of like academic work, you may like feel overwhelmed and feel like I'm at this alone, like it's me in this essay like against the world. It's just not. Like your personal tutor is there to help you, like and hopefully you will have a good relationship with them. And it's like, even if not, like there are other like other tutors will also teach you these, like you can also go to them. It's like always, like there is always support of like some kind, in some shape or form, or there'll be someone in the year who does your subject who will back it and like say, you know, it'll be okay. But yeah,
thank you so much, guys, for just the wealth of information that you provided. And I think also one point to emphasize is that like some people come here and they just have like the most perfect experience and they won't experience any hardship, and that's absolutely fine. But like, you know, I think one thing to emphasize is that at uni, I think in comparison like to school, for example, there aren't necessarily systems in place at schools to help you in terms of like, I don't know, whether it's like finance or, you know, just something in relation to like your welfare or like your mental well-being. But I think at university there's a lot of systems in place, and once you get here you'll see, like as they've mentioned, Ibti and Keisha mentioned, so many different initiatives, so many different schemes. It can be quite overwhelming to know which ones to utilize, but I think making use of the ones that you think you'll find most beneficial is so important. And don't be afraid to do new things, whether it's to for example, like some people come to university not knowing a lot about their culture, but university is that time to really explore your identity and to learn as well, aside from learning about your degree. So take use of those opportunities, and hopefully like the whole experience will be not only enriching in terms of learning about your subject, but also enriching in terms of learning more about yourself. That being said, do you guys have any advice in terms of dealing with workload, stress? Also, sometimes people do experience imposter syndrome before university. What would be like your biggest advice? And if you guys have like examples of how you've like been able to combat it, or how you are combating it, maybe, what would you guys say? And I'll start with Keisha for that.
Okay, so I think imposter syndrome is, I think dealing with imposter syndrome before uni, I think it's about, and this is still something like I struggle with myself like currently, and I'm in like third year, it's been 3 years, but like it is better to be better than it was like before uni and in first year. And I think what I tried to do before I came to Oxford was just like trust in like my own life, like trust in like, I think imposter syndrome, like the root of imposter syndrome is like not believing that you're like good enough, right? Obviously for everyone it's going to be like slightly different and stuff, but it's not believing you're good enough. And I feel like in the not believing you're not good enough, it's like you don't trust your own abilities and like trust how hard you've worked, and that you are enough to have gotten into university, like whatever university that is, like let alone like universities like Oxford, like Musgrave universities and stuff. And I think to solve anything you need to like tackle like the root of that problem. And I think again, like it goes back to just like you just need to like I think just waking up every day, and it sounds like a bit like, sounds a bit corny, I can't lie to you, sounds a bit cringy, but like I swear to you, like if you woke up every day and you were like actually just like thought like I like deserve to go into Oxford, and like reflect and think about all the work you've done, because the work starts way before like because I've been talking to some first years who have felt that because they haven't done like A-level exams, for example, they like don't see like the like link between them getting to Oxford and not having like done the work for the A-level exams. But I think the work starts to get into like Oxford, whatever, Musgrave universities, or like these like wherever, the work starts way before like your A-level exams, right? Because it's like you did the most to get an into, like you have to like send in written, well, you have to do exams, like all this stuff, like there's so much that happens before to get you that offer in the first place. Do you get what I mean? It's like the A-level exam is like irrelevant. It's like, I don't know, it's like okay, I guess it's like the last stamp on like a piece of paper, but it's not. The piece of paper came before that. Like the stamp is irrelevant. Like there's still the paper there with everything, all the evidence there. So do you see what I mean? Like I feel like the work starts way before, and I feel like it's just about thinking back to like all the work you did for like all the interviews, etc. Like all the work you've done throughout your whole life to get to that moment, and just actually thinking about it, actually deeping it, and actually like just giving yourself your accolades, like giving yourself the praise you deserve. I think you just need to wake up every morning before you come to university and think like, I deserve to be in that place, like I deserve to get there. And it doesn't mean that there will be it doesn't mean like throughout your whole time at Oxford you'll always be like, yes, okay, cool, like I belong here, because again, I'm in third year and there's still times where I'm like, it's sticky. It's very sticky, but like I feel like ultimately in life there are always like ups and downs, right? So it's like ultimately, as long as it's like that constant, like that general like up of like, I do belong here, like okay, you may have 1 or 2 days where it's like but it's like still actually fundamentally believing that you belong there. But I think you need to just tell yourself that like every single day. And I think that's the like best way I'd say to combat imposter syndrome before you get there. Just like remind yourself of like all your like struggle and hardship to get there, and the fact that you do belong there. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
And Ibti, any last words of wisdom?
I think like in terms of like imposter syndrome, I think it a lot, yeah, like literally everything Keisha said, period. Like I agree. Like I think it is definitely something as well that like continues into your degree. And I feel like I think sometimes it can be like you placing all of your self-worth on the degree and like the grades and whatever you're getting. And I feel like this place puts a lot of pressure on you to like place all of your worth, not even this place, but I think society places a lot of pressure on you to place your self-worth on like academics. And I think when you're coming to somewhere like Oxford, you're a very academic person, and I think it's very easy to get lost in that. And I feel like a big thing to help manage that is to make sure that you're like taking, like academics isn't the only experience of the university that you're having, because the university has so much to offer. And I feel like, yeah, making sure that your self-worth isn't like predominantly like based on like academics, and you're sort of like, hey, no, I'm like a well-rounded individual. I take part in sports, or like I really value how like well I speak to my friends and like handle, you know, like friendship issues and things like that, or like I really value like my art or my this or my that, like whatever passion like you have. I think let university also be a place where you explore that as well, so that all of your self-worth isn't placed on academics, because I think there's a lot of pressure to do that. And I think when you do that, you do get lost in the source. So yeah, I would say like have other avenues to sort of like explore other things, like do more than just the degree kind of thing, so that if that's not going well, because it's not always going to go well, you can remind yourself like that's not all of you, that's not everything that you are, and it never has been. But I think when you're here, you get like, you just put so much pressure on yourself to like make that be perfect when it's not always going to be.
Yeah, and I think something to mention, and this is something I mentioned in the first video as well in terms of applying, but once you get here, like this is a 3-year journey. Like if you were perfect at your degree from week 1, then what is the point of you being here? Like you're meant to grow and develop, and it's by the time you graduate, or by the time you finish your however many years of your course, when you like, you know, that's the product essentially, like just that whole journey. So like as much as it is like really, really hard, it's like growth, right? And I think having that growth mindset throughout your time here does help. When, you know, sometimes the essay question you don't understand, and sometimes, you know, but it's like you will get it, like by the end of the degree, or by the time you need to get it, kind of thing. And my final question for you guys is, what is your top tips to de-stress? So this can be in relation to, like, you know, the application season. This can be in relation to people currently studying at university, even if it's not Oxford. But what would you guys recommend? I see Ibti with her tea, so I'm imagining, you know, tea is definitely a thing. Do you wanna spill the tea?
That was so smooth. That segue. Wow. You see, this is why Meron is your access officer. This is why she was.
Okay.
Absolutely. I feel like, okay, along with the tea, it's like taking care of your health, like more than just like your mental health is also your physical health, and like what you put in your body and like how you treat your body is so important to that. And I'm saying all this knowing how much I've spent on takeaway and like how I barely left my room in like last term. But we're not here to talk about me, we're here to talk about you. So I think taking care of like your physical well-being is like a big thing, and it's very easy to like let all of these like, oh, last minute deadline, I've got to get this done, and like it will all pile up and you won't make time for just taking care of like yourself. So I feel like for me, when I get to the like, when it's like wash day, I feel like that's like a nice self-care day for me. When I get to like wash day and I'm like, okay, finally I can wash my hair, I can wash off the whole week, I can really take care of myself. Like, yeah, that made me sound like I'm dirty, but I promise I shower. But as in like, I think that's just like a therapeutic process for me, like taking care of my hair. But I think, yeah, taking care of your body is so important.
Thank you. And Keisha?
The insecure move, I do. I'm dead. Anyway, so self-care, like I'm so big on self-care, like Ibti knows this. I actually go on about it so much. See, I tell her off when she's doing like I haven't eaten, I actually tell this girl off, she knows it. I actually tell her off because I think self-care is so important. Like Ibti was saying, you need to take time for yourself and you need to live by that truth. Like I think just like doing like breathing exercises like can help you calm down so much, and it just helps you like put things into perspective. Like if you just like for like literally a minute, like less than a minute, even like 30 seconds, like just sit there and like actually breathe in and out, like you'll actually just like, especially in stressful moments, you'll just deep like, this is not that deep, like what, like if I don't finish this like piece of work, like is the world gonna end? Like no, like your well-being is so much important. Like I feel like just breathing exercises, or like just like maybe like going for walks and stuff. I just feel like stuff that like makes you like slow down, if you get what I mean. Because I think bare of us, I think lots of us like just like what like will watch things to like for breaks, if you get what I mean, like as Netflix, whatever. I still do this as well. Like I'm sitting here like I never do this. I do this all the time still. But it's like we go straight to like Netflix or like Instagram or stuff, and it's like it's just like distracting yourself. It's not actually like sitting with yourself, if that makes sense, and sitting with your thoughts and sitting with how you feel and like sitting with like, I don't know, your mind, just like yourself. It's just again like you go from doing work, which is like obviously distracting you from like, I don't know how you feel because you're just focusing on work, to like distracting yourself with like Instagram, which sometimes even makes you feel worse, or just watching like Netflix and stuff. So I feel like that's not actually taking care of your well-being in breaks. Like I think if you have like a half an hour revision break or 20-minute whatever, it would be so much better if you just sat there and like breathed, or just sat and like, I don't know, listened to music or like went on a walk. Because I feel like, yeah, in doing that, it's just like slowing down your mind. And I feel like the more you sit with yourself, the more you slow down your mind, the more like it's just good vibes. Like you actually just realize like life's good, man. Like as in like, if this work, like if like you don't finish this work, or if like maybe like that exam didn't go as well as you like thought it would, but like your exams are far away, like you still have time. Like I mean, you just put things into perspective again and just think like, yeah, you just see things for like actual reality and actually deep. Like I'm a great person, it's fine. I'm gonna be fine. Yeah, Drake said life's good. That's it.
Self-care, self-love, that's what we love here.
Exactly.
Love to see it. And I think on my side, literally just, I think what helped me last time, especially because we were basically in lockdown and you know we weren't going to lectures, so we weren't socializing that much. I think what helped was because I had like flatmates, so you know face-to-face interaction with people was really important, but also just like taking time to go outside for walks and when the gym was open, going to the gym, or even like going for bike rides and things like that. There are so many open spaces, especially if you're in Oxford. But take advantage of like exploring whatever city that you're in and listen to a great podcast. And I think I only realized this was when I sat down with myself and I questioned like, what makes me happy, right? Because we're so focused on like doing our degrees and helping others, etc. But we have to think about like, sometimes we have to like sit down with ourselves and like think like, what actually makes me happy? And when you have, for example, those 20 minutes, 30 minutes to relax, take away from your revision or whatever, do those things that make you happy. And like, yeah, and then you realize that life isn't that stressful. I mean, sometimes it can be, but it doesn't have to be. So it's just about how you navigate different situations. And yeah, hopefully all things will go well. Do you guys have any last final words you want to add before I end the series?
I feel like what you said about like I think, I don't know if it was Keisha or Meron who said it, but I think like you're good, like you're actually good, and like thinking about like the things that you're also grateful for, I feel like that's another thing that really helps like put things, I think like ultimately like what's really important is to put things into perspective, and that's like and I feel like that helps like the like looming assignments that you haven't done yet, or the like conversation with a tutor that didn't go well, or whatever like it is that is like stressing you out, is like trying to put things into perspective. I think really helps manage like how big things can become, especially like when you're at uni. I think it's kind of like primary school again, because like every small problem is not the biggest problem, because it's like you're in this space, and I feel like uni is everything for you in that moment. So I think making sure that you also like speak to your family, like call home, call your friends, like remind yourself that this like whatever is going on here isn't everything, like it's not. And I think yeah, like ACS is definitely here to be like your community, like here, and like in terms of like support, we're here to like help bridge that like gap that I think sometimes you can feel when you're not white, and you know you're from like an African and Caribbean heritage, and like a lot of us are also like state schools. So I feel like a lot of like us are kind of like definitely feel other like in a place like Oxford. But I think when you know you have like a community here and you feel strong like with the people you have back home as well, I feel like those things can compound like and like make you feel so much better about being here as well when you don't always feel the best. But yeah, I think that's what I would say as well.
I just like good luck to anyone, like regardless of whatever university you're applying to. If you go to university, that's amazing in itself. So many people don't go to university. So yeah, and like again, I think going back to like what Ibti said, like your success isn't based on academic success or whatever success, like there are so many different ways to see success, and like you'll be fine, like it'll be fine, everything will be fine. I think that's what I'm saying. Everything's fine. It's good vibes. Good vibes.
Well, thank you guys. Honestly, I learned so much. And I think also to add to what Keisha said, like these are the things that we talked about today are like things you can take on in whatever field of life. These are just things that we've learned. We're not experts at all. We're still learning. We're still growing. But these are things that have just helped us, and hopefully things that we also take on board in next term and the years to come as well. But thank you so much, Keisha and Ibti, for joining us on this video. And this basically concludes that Shadowing Week 2021 on our YouTube. If you do have any questions in terms of applying, in terms of anything that we've addressed in these videos, or you'd like clarification, please email access@oxfordacs.org, or you can contact us via socials at Oxford ACS on everything. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon and hear from you guys as well. And take care. And hopefully this year goes really well for you all. Thank you.